I would need to look and see where are our better performing schools and where are our lower performing schools, and try to put our best people in the lower performing schools. I truly believe that every student can learn, will learn, and will do their absolute best if they are prodded to do their best. And I think that we need better people in our schools, especially in our lower performing schools, to help those children do better. I am not one who wants to give more resources to one school over another school, but I do certainly think that we should try to move our better people into the lower performing schools. Now, that's not to say that we don't need good people in our better performing schools, because they're better performing schools for a reason. But we need to look and we need to try to balance what we currently have, instead of coming up with other kind of formulas and programs or whatever to try to balance the schools, when maybe that's not what we need. Maybe we just need to have better people in those schools, in those lower performing schools.
So you would basically be opposed to continuing the weighted staffing formula and just have the same staffing ratio across the board. But would you mandate teacher transfers?
I'm not sure if I would mandate anything. I don't know if that's my role, to mandate anything. I think it'd be more up to the principals of the schools to determine what it is their needs are, and then to come to the board with the needs, and then up to the board to determine whether or not these requests are valid. We'd look at more from a perspective of I'm a business analyst. The way I look at things in my line of work is the business comes to a project team to determine whether or not this project is good enough to go forward. As a member of the school board, it would be my role more to be kind of like a project manager, and to look at these requests to see if they're valid, and then become a business analyst and do the research on these requirements to make sure that we should be going forward with these requests, that we can afford it, and that it makes sense.
So this is simplification, but just trying to understand your druthers.
Right.
If there are 100 kids in a school, you send $100 worth of stuff to support their education.
Right.
And you support every school the same way. Every school gets $100. Is that right?
That's the way I look at it.
Okay.
Now, certainly there are some cases where we have the lower performing schools and maybe they get another staff person, but it would have to be done after taking a look at everything and see where we can go with what we can afford and what it is, and if that would be proven to work. I don't know if that would be proven to work, and I would need to get on the board to see exactly where things are now that aren't working correctly, and to take an actually analysis of what's going on to see what it is that we can fix and how we would go about fixing it.
How would you respond to those who might say to you, sir, there are candidates in this contest who are not on the board, who are far more aware of the research and the results of weighted student staffing and material resources into these CMS schools than you appear to be? How would you respond to that?
I would respond by saying the past 50 years of social engineering is not working, and maybe it's time to put somebody on the board who has a little more business knowledge and a little more project management knowledge of how things work and the best way to go about it from a cost-benefit analysis than necessarily an education analysis, which is not working. We have schools that are not performing up to par, and all of these programs that have gone through, whatever kind of education programs that are going through, are not working. Maybe it's time to try something new.